Good evening, YouTube. HeirofCarthage here with Reginald Puggington, and Kislev? The Kislev. Yes, you saw that right. No, there's no new DLCs. No, he's not hacking. Apparently, though, it's a bit of a slip of the system, though. I guess he said you can use a mod to pick an army with Kislev, save it, go into the game unmodded, and load that army in multiplayer. And apparently you can play as Kislev, which isn't going to give you anything special, I don't think. I haven't even seen what their roster is. And I'm assuming if there was mods with like creative rosters, obviously it probably wouldn't work. It has to be a unit, I'm assuming, that is also part of an Empire army. So he's got a couple Outriders, one with grenade launcher, or 3 Outriders in total, one with grenade launcher. He's got a General of the Empire here. He's got 2 Empire captains, one behind each one of these swordsmen. There's a handgunner on either side, a crossbowman in the center, a halberd, and then 3 great swords across the back. And then he's got some spearmen with shields on the flanks as well. So the Chaos Army is going to be led by Sigvald, who, the pretty boy himself, is charging right into combat. See the guns getting a little bit of shooting. There was some terrain here that Puggington managed to use to keep the Chaos off of his flank, which was pretty nice. And then right here he does a real nice job dodging a golden hounds that came from the metal sorcerer from Chaos. Chaos starts to get pretty blobbed up here, and I was a little bit worried. Then the Chaos player fixes it. You can see the gaps in the line are allowing the different Outriders and rifles to fire through. Over here on this flank, the Warhounds are getting caught up in fights that they don't want to be in. There are some Outriders here that are going to get charged down, so these Outriders unfortunately get caught for Puggington. There's 4 Marauder Horsemasters, which is an odd pick. Maybe he was thinking Demigryph Knights and he wanted to harass them to death. But these Horsemasters are going to have a hard time getting into the fight because they don't have a lot of maneuver room. But the Empire Captain, along with the cheap swordsman, serves as a kind of a small blockade that allows the Outriders with grenade launchers to have these big gaps to shoot into. And it's actually working really brilliantly right now. So the Outriders with grenade launchers have already picked up a chevron. And see these blobs here again, it's just perfect. You got one small unit hanging up several enemy units here, and it's a perfect spot for grenade launchers to do their work. And obviously seems like it was part of the plan that Puggington had. And if it was, then it's indeed working. There is a final transmutation available on the metal sorcerer, but I've seen him using some other magic, and a final transmutation could potentially be devastating against the Kislev army here if he's patient enough. If you could get these units aren't very fast. You can get the 2 captains and the general all in one spot and pop a final transmutation. You could hurt all of them very, very badly with one spell. But Chaos has gotten a little blobbed up, and again, this large investment in Horsemasters just really doesn't have any way to pay for itself in this battle because there are no Demigryph Knights or any other units that it's going to do well against. So it just ends up being this fight where Sigvald and his men are trying to tear through these cheaper Empire troops, but you can see the reserve system kind of the Empire employed here, almost kind of Romanesque in this formation with 3 lines, and using the gaps to his advantage, and then bringing in reserves. So it's actually pretty nice way to fight, and it was pretty well suited for the Chaos army that he came up against here. Every time I come up against Chaos, I always get faced down with a bunch of Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, so I don't usually get the pleasure of just fighting an infantry army from Chaos. Yeah, you can see that those grenade launchers just did some horrendous damage. They've got 2 chevrons and 114 kills, and that's quickly climbing. Comes a Golden Hound. This time it's going to connect, and you can see that, I mean, the Hounds do some decent damage, but they move around pretty quickly unless you overcast it. I find that the Hounds really aren't worth it unless you have a really good blob to use them on. Otherwise, they're pretty expensive at magic costs, and you're kind of better off to just use Searing Doom because it's less magic, does decent damage, and kind of recharges faster. It's ready to be used pretty quickly. In this case, Sigvald's still alive, but there's too many Empire troops left. And Sigvald's getting gunned down from the outside, too. Not before he kills one last Empire troop, or I say Empire, Kislev. There you go. HeirofCarthage here, bringing you first. Kislev in multiplayer. Thanks to Reginald Puggington sending that in, and Christian, thanks for giving him a fun game. Though you, much like myself, every time I've attempted to bring Sigvald, I've just ended up regretting it. So yeah, there you go. There was something a little bit different. Different type of strategy, different faction. Obviously, when he picks the Kislev faction, it's not like there's some unique units available or something, but it would be a cool sub-faction to get added in. I think it'd be cool if they could get like Middenland and Kislev added into the game, or maybe even Estalia and Tylea, and kind of give them like some of the Dogs of War units or something like that. That'd be pretty sweet to see some of those factions fleshed out, even though it wouldn't be a completely new faction. I think it'd be pretty cool to have some new things in it. So it'd be pretty neat to see that. But hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll be back with more of these soon. You all make sure to tune in tomorrow. So Thursday. Oh geez, we actually got a bunch of time. Let's jump into another battle. That didn't take very long. So Gray still plays apparently, and then Crooked Moon. So wow, that is, speaking of chaos, that's a lot of trolls, folks. This guy be trolling. And then we got Skaven on the other side. This must be a large funds battle. It's definitely got to be a large funds battle. Or ultra funds, whatever you call it. Because there's a lot of expensive units in the fight here. Let's kind of put it in slow-mo and get a rundown of the troops. Chaos has a couple of Dragon Ogres. Looks like some Chaos Chariots in these units. 80 Forsaken. 120 Marauders, yeah. 16 Trolls. I think they're playing on the larger unit settings as well. Yeah, they are. They're playing on the larger unit settings. So, got a couple of Chaos Chariots, the Dragon Ogres, some Forsaken, and then we've got all the Trolls mixed in with Marauders. There's some Chosen in the center. Crooked Moon is rocking a huge line of Black Orcs, including the Crimson Killers, 2 Giants. And then we've got a Night Gobbo War Boss and Orc Shaman, and he is sporting Foot of Gork. And here we go. We got some Gobbo Archers, the Rusty Heirs, and Morgrub's Mangy Marauders back here, along with a Squig Hopper and a Moon Howler. On the other side with the Skaven, they've got a front line with some Skaven Slave Slingers, some Gutter Runners, and then some Plague Monk Censer Bearers on the outside flank there, a Warlord, a few Storm Vermin with Halberds. We've got a Hell Pit Abomination, Doom Wheel, Rat Ogres, and some Storm Vermin's Sword and Shield. And for the Vampires, front line of Skeletons, a back line Cairn Wraiths supported by a Banshee each. That is a lot of ethereal going on all in one place. Crypt Ghoul on either side of them, and a back line of Graveguard with great weapons, and the Sternsmen. And then Horrors in the back, Vargulf, and some Black Knights with Lances and Barding. These are a really cool looking unit. You don't see these guys very often, but definitely an awesome unit. We got a Vampire Lord. Let's check out the Vampire Lord. So, Wind of Death. Have to keep an eye out for that. Yeah, then a Warlord. No magic for the Skaven player that I can see. And Chaos has our Kaon. He's rocking the Burning Head. Way back in the back, we got the Dire Pack. And like I said, Foot of Gork. Here we go. So let's just kind of see how this plays out. Skaven are going to have a pretty solid skirmishing advantage on this side. Chaos has some really nice monstrous infantry here. All those armored Chaos Trolls are going to be some fairly tough units if they're supported properly. Yeah, they've got Aspiring Champions near them, so I actually kind of like that combination. Alright, so the skirmishers for Skaven get spotted. It's kind of in a weird formation here. I think that they'd be trying to get some shots off of those giants right now. Rat Ogres and Doomwheel are just going to slam right on in. Not going to do much, though, because these Night Gobbo is going to get into the Black Orcs. But yeah, it's going to want to get out of there real quick. Rat Ogres and the Hell Pit Abomination on this flank. The problem is they're going to get slammed into some really high-tier infantry. And that stuff is going to hit like a truck. So, I mean, having this many Black Orcs up against you without the extra support, not gonna be great for the Skaven here. We're gonna end up in a bad spot. There's some Storm Vermin coming in, but they're coming in like these strange column formations almost here. Let's see what this is. Is this a foot? Oh yeah. Yeah, it did some damage. That Storm Vermin straight up died And then these rat ogres took a beating from it. So Foot of Gork was pretty effective there. Chaos going to engage the vampires who are going to actually take this charge sitting still. So let's see what happens. We got some trolls. Got the aspiring champion supporting some more trolls. Going to swing in off this flank. Kind of surprising that trolls are actually going into the spearmen here. And the vampire player has Wind of Death, but hasn't lined it up anywhere. Actually could get a pretty decent Wind of Death off right through here. Wouldn't do bad. Or this direction right here, this Wind of Death would actually work fairly well down through there. So a couple of spots where he could use it. Oh, but the Burning Head from Archaon comes in, and the vampire player wasn't prepared and took a beating on that Graveguard. The Burning Head does still shift directions just a little bit, even when you overcast it. I honestly wish they would fix that to where it just tacked a straight line, and it would make that spell just as good as Winds of Death, if not maybe even better. Hell Pit Abomination gets wrecked by archers and a giant, and Skaven is going to be like a wave washing up against the rocks in the ocean here on the Black Orcs, because these guys are bigger, they're arter, and they're black is the new green, folks. So yeah, this is definitely not going to go well for Skaven. Even their Censer Bearers over here doing a little bit of work against the Black Orcs, but just look at the Goblin Archers. Censer Bearers very, very vulnerable to that type of thing, and they are getting chewed up. And then the light infantry, or the light cavalry for the Greenskins, getting some really important work done. I think that was another... I thought I heard another foot or something like that smashing out here. Yeah, there it is. So another Foot of Gork, and it comes in on these Black Knights with lances and barding, and yeah. Anyway, they got wrecked. So, wonder where that sorcerer is at. Here he is, 192 kills. So 2 beautiful, disgusting Foot of Gork attacks that turned out really good. The armored chaos trolls working their way through this vampire infantry. The Vargulf's in here, all the Cryptors, Cairn Wraiths. Terror could be a real problem for chaos over here, actually. But chaos has pretty solid leadership. Dragon Ogres took a shot there. But that's a strange spell for the Vampire Lord to be using. Like I said, I mean, even again at this point, you look, in some places there's decent lines of enemy infantry. Winds of Death probably should have been used there. Summon up some zombies. But, I mean, I don't know that that'll do a lot of good at this point. The vampires are looking pretty much cooked here. Chaos has a lot of good units. Is this the Wind of Death? No, a Burning Head. Holy smokes, that's beautiful. Look at that. Woo! Yeah, that's gonna hurt. They went through some chaos units too, but that Wind of Death. Yeah, I went right through these Cairn Wraiths and stuff too, which are more vulnerable to that magic damage. So that was going to be a significant hit. These chariots are getting decent kills here. Yeah, the vampire's pretty much toast. And the greenskin player's just finishing off the Skaven. I mean, in the end, the greenskin infantry finally took some damage, but there's still a couple of units, like these Crimson Killers. Look at that, 184 kills. Still going strong. So even though some of these Storm Vermin and other units came back from routing, it's going to be a little too late, too little. Skaven aren't going to be able to turn this one around. The Crooked Moon just kind of rolled over him. Vampire Lord's still alive, though. If I meant alive, I meant undead. So yeah. What's left of the vampires putting up a stand here. You got a Banshee. No big surprise, because it's ethereal. Another Burning Head. Yeah, another Burning Head. Wow, Archaon got off 3 Burning Heads. That's quite a bit of magic, actually. It's just zombies, but still be fun. I can't get Archaon. Yeah, there he is, 91 kills. Yeah, he's tanking it out in here pretty well. Yeah, the Vampire Lord's gonna disintegrate momentarily because all the other units are crumbling. You see a Banshee from this bird's eye view down in here. She's not loving unlife right now. Man, this game looks good. It sure doesn't run as good as it used to, ever since Windows and Intel ruined the performance with their stupid security updates. Oh, foot of cork in there right on his own guys. No mercy from the Orc Shaman. He wants a piece of that Banshee. I can see why he was trying it. Yeah, the Vampire Lord's gonna go after some archers over here. The Dire Pack, I think, got forgotten about because it's pretty healthy here, and it got some kills maybe here at the very end. But they're gonna all disintegrate here because of the power bar. So long, vampires. Have fun back in the grave. Ah, the Vampire Lord is trying to hang on, summoning up a zombie. Yeah, the Vampire Lord's crumbling. These zombies are unbreakable, but they're not going to stay alive for long. Yeah, Banshee's finally down. I'm surprised that this Vampire Lord didn't just do like an instant disintegrate. There he goes. So it'll just be that zombie unit left. So there goes the Vampire Lord. And then just a few zombies to chew through here. Look at these trolls. Burning head here also. Wow, 4 burning heads. Archaon the Merciless, like burning right through his own troops. Man, beautiful. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the replays. It was fun. As I was going to say earlier, if y'all want to catch me on a live stream, I'll be live streaming tomorrow at about 8 o'clock U.S. Central Time. So do check that out. And I think I did a Ketep episode this week. I did some Karl Franz today. So I'll probably do some Surviving Mars. I know that one's more of a unique one. Some of you don't like it, but that's all right. You'll live. That's what I want to play tomorrow. So if you want to join me, feel free to join me. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope you all enjoyed it.